I think, do you then think as humans, we don't keep making the same mistakes? Because I see a lot of people who, in their teenage years, they made certain quote unquote mistakes, right? But as adults, they make the same mistakes, but in a different way. So repeatable patterns, right? And that advice around, okay, if I can advise my teenage self today, if I saw a teenage me today, what counsel would I give?
Okay, I got it. I get you now. So, really, the advice that I would have given to myself, that's the advice that I have given to my niece, and she's 14, and I gave her this advice. I think it was last year. Start looking about, because, the patterns we all, but most of us run on autopilot. We don't even know this because, like you said, we do the same things. You drive to work. Experienced drivers don't even think, okay. You just do it on autopilot, and then you there at the destination. You're like, oh, okay, I'm here, yeah. Unless something happens in between, right? So
Yeah.
with the vast majority, and that's what the neuroscience also teaches, that and proves that with the vast majority of things that we do in life, we run on autopilot. Bob Proctor was teaching about the pattern of the subconscious that is basically sort of, doing this. Subconscious basically codes everything you see, you hear, it's there. And then, the conscious mind was going to pull the information, like in a computer, that's going to pull the information that, depending on the surroundings, the circumstances, that, what's happening, and, it could be bad or good. And so, as humans, I think if you become aware that you have the pattern, the behavioral pattern, the pattern for, for clothing, for preference for food, everything is learned, up to, the 6 years old, we are creative and we just absorb everything as like a sponge. Yeah. And then when, when the, cognitive thinking starts, that we kind of just like, this and that till the 18th, we are still creative, and then we kind of, become a little bit rigid. So, if you stop learning at that point, stop learning and training your brain, then, then you create the problem for yourself, because you just sort of, you're going to be within this pattern, doing the same things, maybe slightly differently, maybe this way, but it's going to be the same. And so that's why brain retraining, that is so important for me personally, because I completely forgot about it at some point, and then I realized, rediscovered it. I think it was 2010. And so I've never stopped. I always look for the new way to develop and to grow and just to expand. And this is what I said to my niece, I created for her like a little PDF, just, 3 pages with the key messages that, so what you focus on, you attract. Yeah. So it's a little bit like green light. Yeah. Oh, it's red again. Oh, it's red. Oh, it's red again. Yeah. It's just like kind of, they're very, very simple things, because, if you stay within your pattern, and, you will be thinking, oh, that's against me. That's wrong. That didn't happen. Oh, I'm bad. I'm not good. It's just, you're just going to be reinforcing the old pattern. So, that's my message to her was, don't let the pattern keep you in place, because you are a wonderful, creative, smart human being. And, creative and smart. We are smart in so many different ways. As many human beings are that there are, that there's that many, smart people, because, that we are smart and creative in different areas. So, don't compare yourself, and just always grow, always look for new things, always, just because if you are stuck in one place, that's where you're going to have, you will see the people who are just like again and again.
So that's curious, because you mentioned your niece and this advice you gave her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you then think, especially for young women today, that social media, TikTok, all of this has created a much more difficult path because the neuro association of, getting likes, getting friends, comments, and all that has created this culture of instant gratification where the same fulfillment you get for interpersonal connections have now been translated into superficial online connections where you have people who would post or say anything just to get reactions from random strangers around the world, right? The same way in business where social media was, oh, we got 10,000 likes on this post, but did you get 10,000 new customers? So do you think it's created a much more dangerous situation where you have, especially young women, young vulnerable women, are being pushed this false dopamine rush based on, technological, social media based artificial engagement versus human engagements, which they sacrifice one for the other?
Well, I think it's an excellent point. Actually, you're gonna laugh, but my little niece, or not that little, but she's a creator on TikTok, and so she started because she's very creative. So she actually studies, photography and media. And I think it's a fantastic path for her because, if she was pushed into some other direction, like, working with numbers, that she would be unhappy for the rest of her life. So this is where she can bring her creativity and grow. And we can see that she's doing tremendously well. I haven't seen her TikTok account, but what she told us, it's basically that she comments on some movie series, which is the young people are just really into, and and it's her opinion on that, and this is how she kind of it's like she found a niche. And she got the organic response from the platform, from the people on the platform. So that I think is fantastic. So for her, it's not so much about getting the likes, or I don't know how it actually started. She just told us at some point, So
organic engagement, and it feeds.
Absolutely. But my nephew, for example, is the same age. They are a different generation. They are kind of, technology is the part of their lives. So they are in two different parts of the country, and they still, communicate or play together or just, exchange. So it's not like she's got new friends from the followers. It's not that much. It actually helped her a lot because she was bullied at school. That was unfortunate, but that happened. And then that almost the last year of the school, that very person, because TikTok was showing suggestion, that very person, the bully, saw her account, and then she came to her and she said, "Oh, I saw your account of this and that, and you've got that and that amount of followers." But she's got a lot of engagement and a lot of views because she's clearly doing a good job that the young people her age like. So that was the positive thing, because that for us to tell her, okay, how you could potentially deal with the situation. I'm not there. I'm not going to go to school the next day and face this person and, face, all the comments and stuff like this. So maybe there was a way for her to kind of, move forward. But looking at the kids, it's like, in my family, it's not like they, I think it's more the people, the older generation or that they need this kind of sort of, to, the image of that were maybe more susceptible to this, that the following, because we were sort of earlier, before, we were not exposed to that, but then Google happened and they shortened our span like this, and then you just and so then you had the videos, and now you've got the short form content, process everything. So I don't think that, at least for the kids that in my family that I know, I don't see this as a replacement for real life connection for
Mm-hmm.
for reaching out to people, to their friends, reaching out to us as the aunties or family members. I don't see this as a replacement. Obviously, I'm not privy to everything that they do online, but you hear those awful stories, and I think it comes back to the family and the people who are around you, and the friends, and your self-worth and self-value. And that there's this very, very famous saying, I think Marisa Peers just talks about it, the psychologist, that that people oftentimes when they come from the family, they may have this pattern of I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough. And I think it's huge, because I also faced that, and I also reworked through this, but we come from this baggage. So I think it's really about the family and the people around you, the friends. You don't choose the family, but you can choose your friends, right?
Exactly.
The people you have the relations with. And I think this is where it becomes so important. Like some of the trainers that I've studied, I forgot who, forgive me, but it's like there are people with whom you can spend 30 seconds and you're just going to be like, enough, 3 minutes, that's it. 3 hours,
Small
yeah,
doses.
okay, but no more. But then there are people with whom you can spend 30 days, and 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So this was another thing that I said to her. If you focus on those, 30 seconds, yes, then you give them power to come and affect your life. If you focus on those, 30 years and 30 days and those meaningful things that enrich you, then, and you stop giving meaning to the 30-second people, you become empowered, and you just, they become unimportant.
Fuller. Yeah, richer. It's a richer experience. Yeah. So let me pivot for a second. As an investor, okay, in what way or ways has your work changed someone's life?
Let me just I'll keep it simple. Like, when I don't do flipping anymore, but I love flipping. This is fun. I absolutely love it, and one of the reasons I love it is because you find a, excuse my French, crappy house, and you give it a new lease of life. And that is amazing, because that it's going to stand there, it's going to contribute. So that's one thing that's going to contribute to someone's life. That is so simple. It's not just about, okay, the numbers work. That's a good project. Let's crack on with that. But it's actually going to be there serving people. Very simple. I like, keeping things simple.
Yeah. That's impactful. And we talked earlier about the power of the home.
Yes.
Take something that's been beat and weathered down over the years, and you breathe new life into it, and you hand it off, to someone else that's going to come in and build a life on top of that, and that then carries 2, 3, 4 generations, through that. And you can step back and because I believe there is no greater sense of accomplishment than service to humanity, period. And something like that is the ultimate service, because you've breathed life into something and you've handed it off to someone who's going to make a home, make a life, and a legacy out of it.
Absolutely.
Which I believe it's a very fantastic thing. So who was your favorite cartoon character when you were a kid?
Oh my gosh. There's so many. I had so many. I absolutely love that, because but my favorite, I think Tom and Jerry, probably.
Wow. You know what's funny? Tom and Jerry, that was my favorite cartoon as a kid, but I didn't realize that the soundtrack to Tom was all classical music. And then as an adult, when I got into the classics, and I'm going, wait a minute, as a kid, in my teens, I started listening to Mozart, and I'm going, that was all Tom and Jerry. And it never, it didn't click. And that was how I realized that this entire time I have listened to, symphony, everything, but as a kid it was through Tom and Jerry.
And that's the magic of it, right? Because that you can put in so many different elements that normally you would approach as separate classical music, cartoon, but then you fuse it and you've got something magical.
It's fantastic. Wow. So for what in life do you feel most grateful?
Health and family and the people around me. These two things. I mean, it's just without health, no money can give you that quality of life. It's just simple as that. That's just it. And then again, without friends and meaningful friendships and family around you, the people again who are part of your world and you interact with, and this enriches you, and you can. It's a two-way traffic where you can enrich them at the same time. These are the things that I'm definitely most grateful for. Definitely.
Interesting. So, what's your most treasured memory?
Wow, my most treasured memory. There's so many, because you look if you look back, then there's so many. But I think I enjoy the little things, because everyday things. It's not like there's one big thing that I used to have this mentality when I finish the PhD, when I this, then I will be happy, or this or that happy, and then it didn't happen, and so I really cherish these little things, like a good meal, like I make a good meal. I'm gonna have a really great dinner because I made it just before our call. And I'm glad that I put, that I said, okay, I'm going to spend, this time to prepare it, because I know it's going to be awesome. So, this is just this little thing, that little happiness that awaits for me. Or, having just this wonderful conversation right now. What I want to do even more, just do more of the things that make me happy and be more in the present, because this is when I can enjoy things, not in the past. That there are little things like the holding my little nephew for the first time when it's little tiny, but now he's 7, and we love going for the trips together, and just the two of us, and just all around the park and everything, and we have a really good relation. Or my niece, like when she was little, or now when we had this some difficulties, then you have a conversation and you help her, or or she says something about TikTok, and I'm like, okay, I'm learning all the time. So it's just because that's my mentality. You look at everyone, you can learn from everyone. So just these things, that this mentality, just to be in the present, and it's not going to win the lottery. It's I'm going to have a good meal. Yeah. That's
simplicity. I mean, simplicity is a beautiful thing. You notice flowers, the colors, going for a walk, having just one glass of wine. Just the little things are so powerful, and it comes with growth. Because as we get older, we start to realize that, wait a minute, there's more to life than just money, 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 money. It's interesting. So my last question to you is, what does friendship mean to you?
Friendship, I think,
aside from going on people's podcasts, of course.
I think it's for me, it's all about the connection. It's all about the connection. So no amount of social media would be comparable to we have the connection. We have that connection. We had the good vibes since the first time we spoke on the phone. I remember that, and that brings me back to, the 30-second people, and then, there may be 30 days of 30 years people. Yeah. And and that's what really matters. And I had an unfortunate event. I lost a friend recently, and it's nothing sinister. It just, that things we started that project together, and I put in 200% and more into this project, and my friend didn't. And so we had and in fact it was quite the opposite. And so when I discovered that, and I tried to bring this person on and on and on, and just I kept dragging the project and my friend, and I realized that's not going to work. And I made an error just thinking of doing this project together. But so this is like this is why I said to this person from the start, please think about it. Do you really want to do this? Because you know me, that I say I am 100% in. You know me, that I'm going to be 100% in all the time. Do you have the same commitment? Because I value our friendship more than, I wouldn't want this to end badly because of that project, which is unfortunately what happened. And so, then it poses the question, was it really the friendship if it ended like this? But things like this happen. So, I decided not to dwell upon it. I just accepted this. And every time a situation like this happens with some negative, you will worry about something, you will send them the negative energy because you worry about this person. So, every time, something like this happens, you have to be realistic about the situation and take realistic steps, even if that's a friend. And maybe in particular, if that is a friend, because if you don't do anything or don't tell them, your perspective, then, that you quite possibly are going to be doing a disservice to him. But, what I do in the situation like this is what Sister Shivani teaches. It's just like, you do what you need to do about the situation. And then at the soul level, at the higher level, at your higher spirit level, it's just what she teaches is, I'm sorry for what I had done to you in the past. I forgive you for what you did to me. Past is past. Our karmic account is over. I am sending you love and blessing. So, it's just like this. And I look at everybody in this way because, that many things may happen to you and many negative thoughts, many negative energies may kind of stick to you. So, just because you're passing and you might be vulnerable. But I think it's good to maintain this healthy balance. And in particular in friendship, if you don't have this platform where you can express yourself, then perhaps that was not a friendship
in the first place.
When a thing like this happened and you still managed to, get over this difficulty and reconcile the differences, then that's something worthwhile. But that brings us back to, 30 seconds and, and 30 years. So maybe we had a shorter, term of this friendship. I don't know.
That is awesome. Beata, thank you so much, for taking the time. Every time we interact, this has been not only insightful, but it's been a long time coming for me. And I'm very happy to call you a friend first among many.
Thank you.
And I hope we can definitely do this again sometime soon. And I'm, like I said, it took a while to organize this because I know you like to do your thing behind the scenes. You don't like attention and all of that. So thank you again for being open to doing this with me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm just, very grateful. And it's always great to, catch up with you. Always so happy.
Fantastic. I am going to end recording